Hi there, Roger Burnley here with another video for you. Okay, today we're going to talk about vocal registers. I get a lot of questions about this as well. And part of the problem is that we have so much different or so many different terminologies that we use for this. A lot of you have heard of terms like head voice, chest voice, middle voice, and all of that. My goal is that I don't like for you to even think in terms of the differences in all of those. I'd rather have you think that what you're trying to accomplish and the way that your voice is going to work the most effectively is if you're able to mix back and forth between all of these different registers or parts of your voice very easily. So when we talk about a register or your range, because that's all included here. Now, when we're talking about your range, that means that that's the lowest notes that you're able to hit within your particular voice to the highest notes that you're able to hit. And those will change as your technique develops. I've never found anyone that I've worked with who hasn't developed more range after we start using the body more correctly or effectively. And that means actually developing more lower range as well as the higher range. So and again, when we're in the higher range, yes, that's going to be what we may think of as more of a head voice. When we're in that middle range, which is where you're going to do most of your singing, if you're singing popular music, most of it's going to be in that middle range. And then in that lower range is what most people think of as their chest voice, or because you experience it basically a bit lower in your body. That's where you're experiencing it. But again, I like for you, and I think that it's more effective if you think that what you're trying to do is to get all of this to mix together very easily. A lot of times you hear about the voice breaking apart. Well, it breaks apart because what's happening is that you're trying to move from one part of your voice or one register in your voice into another with pushing too much. That's typically what happens. When you push too much to try to get there, the vocal cords literally kind of come apart. They cannot maintain the sound. Now, let's talk about that in more of a physical standpoint. When I'm in the lower part of my range, the larynx and the voice box, again, are relaxed or in place, right? So I think that down in that lower part, my vocal cords may be just as when I'm speaking, or maybe more natural or more relaxed, or they're fuller size. That's going to create your lower range or your chest voice, as you might think of it. As I start to go higher then, and this is the important part, if I leave my larynx or my voice box more in place, what will start to happen very naturally is the vocal cords will change. They'll start to thin or shorten a bit to create a higher range. They only do that effectively when, again, the voice box stays more relaxed. Now, in those very high ranges, another thing that starts to happen, you hear people hitting those really high whistle notes and those high tones. That is a process where the vocal cords dampen. To give you an understanding of what that means, the dampening process means that the vocal cords basically, this isn't exactly what happens, but it's a good way for you to understand it. They basically close up so that the air is only vibrating over a very small surface or portion of the vocal cords. That's what creates those really high pitches. So what you're trying to do always is to allow the cords to start to make those changes without you tightening or pushing. If you've been used to pushing, if you've been used to using, as I've talked about many times, the swallowing muscles or the outside muscles in the neck, then you're not going to get there right away very easily. And so you're going to need to give your body time to relax, to allow those changes, those adjustments to become very natural. And for your new habits, because that's exactly what they are, your body is always developing muscle memory, so to speak. So let me just take you through a very simple scale. I use this on the lip trill, the tongue trill, and all of that, but I just want you to try to hear where the ranges start to change. But again, what we're trying to do is keep them more connected, all right? And that's the ultimate goal. Let me just play a little bit of this for you. I'm just doing it on a lip trill right now. There, I went into a little different part of my range. But I'm allowing the chords to get smaller, not pushing to get there. I'll do it on a vowel sound now. Maybe you can hear it a little bit more. A, A. I'm allowing the chords to change. I'm letting this play so you can practice it. A, A. Now that's more of what you might consider my head voice, but it's still connected. Hey, hey. Anyway, so you get the idea of what I'm talking about, and ultimately, that's always what I'm trying to get you accomplished with the exercises that we do. And give yourself time and patience, and again, you'll start to develop it. So if you like that information, you want more, check out my singing program, A Singing Made Simple. There's a link at the bottom of this video. And until next time, I will see you soon. Take care.